And here we are, Kill Your Gods podcast. We are at the end of 90s Kids Movies Month, which I have had a lot of fun. I'm not going to lie. Numbers went down a little bit this month. Maybe wasn't the best idea, but I had a good time. And that's what's important, is if I had a good time. Joining me from the Handsome Idiots podcast, two very funny guys, good friends of mine, Matt Peoples and John Montague. How y'all doing?
Happy to be here on the Kill Your Gods podcast. Very excited to dive into some Sandlot here, baby.
Oh, you blew the lead. You didn't even get to say what we were on.
Oh, shit. Yet. All right, never mind. All right. We'll do a different movie now.
All right, and 3, 2, 1.
We're talking about the Sandlot.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
See, I talked.
That's okay. So before we get started on all this, tell us where we can find you guys, anything you have coming up, social media, the whole bit.
I guess you can follow me on Instagram at Matt Peoples Comedy, Facebook if people do those things, Matt Peoples. Unfortunately, Jesse, the times we're in, TikTok at Matt Peoples Comedy. Hey, it had to be me. And I have this Tuesday, I'll be at the Philadelphia Beer Boutique in Philadelphia, I think. I haven't looked at the location. And Punchline, I'll be there this Wednesday, 7 p.m. with the Lovable Monsters. So come hang.
Awesome. You can follow me at Montague Comedy on Instagram or Hacks Comedy Golf. If you like half-ass golf and half-ass comedy, just tune in and watch us get silly on the golf course. And you can find Matt and myself on, like you said, Handsome Idiots podcast, usually out every Monday-ish on all your platforms. Search Handsome Idiots. It's our logo is the two of us shooting lasers out of our eyes. I don't know why. But yeah, you can find us there. And shows July 8th come out. That's my Philly's Funniest night. So excited to get up there and send some jokes Philly's Funniest.
So is this where I find out that handsome people have the ability to shoot lasers out of their eyes? Because
we're working on it. That's what we think the end result of this show is. Once we know we hit our stride is when we're shooting lasers in, or we're able to afford lasers to get shot into our eyes, like for LASIK surgery.
It's really, I was going to say, it's really an allusion to LASIK eye surgery that we're both trying to fund through this podcast. So for someone, please sponsor us. This is brutal.
All right. Yeah. GoFundMe, Handsome Idiots, LASIK eye surgery. So we're talking about the Sandlot. Funny, I just wanted to do 90s kids movies. 3 out of the 4 movies that got picked were all sports movies. Ladybugs for soccer, Little Rascals for football, and now obviously Sandlot for baseball. What history do you guys have with this movie personally? Real quickly, I mean, I liked the movie growing up, but this was one of my little brother is 5 years younger than me, and this is one of his watch the VHS until it decomposes in the VCR movies. So me and John were talking. I did not need to watch this to write down notes. I have everything embedded in my brain. I remember Sandlot's quotes instead of calculus. So that's how that happened.
I'll do you one better. I never even learned calculus. I just nothing but Sandlot quotes and remedial math in my skull. So for me, it was, I mean, this movie came out in 93, right? So I was 6 years old when it came out. I remember seeing it in theaters down the shore with my dad. I think my whole family, maybe. We were down the shore, like on our vacation. And that was always like the one big night of the week when we were down there. We'd go see a movie at the theater that was right there. And I remember seeing Sandlot. And I was already obsessed with baseball. I was slightly younger than all the kids in the movie. So like I remember like opening credits just being like, this is for me. Like this, they made this movie just for me.
Well, I'll do you one worse. I wasn't even born when this movie came out. So that
disgusting.
Yeah, can you be considered a 90s kid if you were born on the back half of the 90s?
I think if you can snag at least 4 years from the 90s, you're a 90s kid. That's how I would go. But that's only because I only had 4 years in the 90s. So it's pretty specific criteria.
You were born in 1996?
1996, baby.
So yep. You reasonably could be the reincarnation of Kurt Cobain.
A lot of people have said that about me, both from a singing talent and different choices I've made in life. So that's pretty fair, Jesse. I'm glad somebody said it because it's
funny because with all the clothes that you wear, you look like a looper from 1996, like coming forward to warn current day Matt Peoples of impending doom.
That's what we talked about a little bit ago. 90s stuff is cool now. So I just have no personality, so I just do whatever is cool at the present moment. So that's how I live it up.
But that's the catch. This is a 90s movie set in the 50s, right?
60s, early 60s.
60s, sorry, 60s. So that I always love that too. That era of like the Wonder Years, like this. I can't think of a third thing. So those two things, that like sepia tone view of what that time frame looked like is still in my head. Like I know it didn't look like that. It's like when you watch Woodstock footage, you're like, oh yeah, it wasn't grainy when you were there.
But
like,
yeah, you mean like actually visually being there?
Yeah, that warmness of like everything that was in that era. It always just feel like that was the warmest era of movies. Like everything in it is just cozy when you're like visually.
I can see that.
So yeah, not only visually, but I did write down in my notes like certain things are happening here. So this is 1962. For one thing, they have a black pitcher, but he's very specifically Afro-Hispanic. Like we're talking, obviously it's California, so it's not straight up segregation, but like they're not exactly getting along.
Yeah, that's very woke.
And also, this is happening in 1962 Southern California. They have the little epilogue at the end where, you know, so-and-so became an architect. I'm sorry, if this is 1962 and these kids are 11, 12 years old, one of these kids is dying in Vietnam.
I was just going to say, yeah.
They say that at the very end.
They say one of them went in the military, but it wasn't like, you know.
It's not like
one of them got lost in like the
Agent Orange.
Yeah, I want the one like now. I want to hear if like Timmy and Tommy, if they both are in jail for like laundering money through their construction company now. Like I want to hear the extent. You don't got to give me a whole movie. I just want them to check in with like a 10-minute video.
And that's something you could only do that then, where they do the whole at the end of the thing, like so the epilogue, where they explain where they are now. Like if you made Sandlot, but it was based in 2021, and these were 11-year-old kids, it would be like Nathan went on to be canceled for some off-colored comments he made back in 2008. Like he couldn't even do it anymore.
Nathan went on to become Natalie.
But you know what? They would have to do this because for a kids movie, if this were made in 2021. 3 of these kids need to be girls just for, I mean, the only women in this movie are Scotty's mom, Wendy Peppercorn, and that is it.
And none of them have any substance to their characters whatsoever. So it's very 90s.
I want to touch on this at some point, but both of them imprinted in me at 6 years old. And we can say that. But I also love, I didn't want to bring it up this soon. You said that like there's no girls in this one. Did you ever see The Sandlot 2?
I did not.
Please don't. I did, and I feel like I did it just to save my fellow brethren of people that love The Sandlot and warn them, because in Sandlot 2, it's a girls kick-ass movie. It's basically Ocean's 8. Is that what it was? Ocean's 8 of Sandlot. To the point where the famous line from Sandlot, "You play ball like a girl." That line, I don't even say, you can probably predict how it goes. They're like, "You play ball like a girl," and it zooms in. She's like, "You're damn right," or something like that. And you're like,
I was gonna say that's probably the slogan for the movie when it came out: "Playing ball like a girl." Yeah,
but it's good. Our bats are fatter and the ball's bigger. It's softball. Sorry.
Nowadays, again, back to the 2021, it would be like, "You play ball like a Republican." It's like, oh no.
Bam.
Yeah, they would have to sneak in like
they would have to.
Terrible Trump jokes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, actually, so if this was coming out today, it would be early 90s actually, because this was made 30 years in the past and 30 years before now.
But they would also, what would suck was they would make it, if it came out now, they would throw wokeness on it. I'm not trying to go on the pedestal, but they would try to make it look, and it kind of, I guess they did this in the first one, they would make it be like the most racial cast, like people that would never not play together, but like, it would be like, we even have an amputee on the team. Like it would be like very inclusive, which 1991 was not inclusive at all.
No, in this version, there are 2 token diversity casts, and that is the pitcher and the fat ginger catcher, and that's as diverse as I am comfortable getting.
Who I love. I went to high school with a girl that looked exactly like Porter, and it sucks. It's not a good look for a female when your face is more freckle than it is skin. And not only did she look exactly like, she embraced it too. I think we called her Porter.
So you know what the sad thing is you know who looks a lot like Hamilton Porter? The actor today still looks exactly the same.
Oh, it's so weird.
It's creepy. I thought you were
It's
going to say
upsetting.
Matt's if
I was
like,
bracing for it the whole time, but then I remember Jesse also has red hair, and I was like, all right, he can't make this one.
Reddish hair, freckles, like
if Porter went into the Captain America machine, it would come out as Matt Peoples.
Oh, way too much credit, but I'll take it. I'm gonna.
It's not
wow.
but he's so low on the scale that it just you come out mediocre.
Yeah, I came out as like Captain, like cat.
If you came out halfway through cooking, like if the machine tipped over, and it was only halfway through Captain Americanizing you, and that's where you came out.
I'm cool with that. That's not too bad. I can go with that.
So let's get into the breakdown of the movie overall. We see the framing device of middle-aged Scotty sitting up in the announcer's booth of a stadium. We see it's early 1962 Southern California. Scotty moves to town 2 weeks before school starts, 5th grade. He's a shy little bitch. His dad died. His mom is the girl from Indiana Jones. She married Dennis Leary. Speaking of things, Sandlot aged very well. Sandlot is something that aged very well from the 90s. Dennis Leary is something that did not age well at all, especially as a comedian.
Yeah. This was peak Leary. This was, I feel like it was all downhill for Dennis Leary. And then he got Rescue Me.
Yeah. But you know what it is? I loved his special No Cure for Cancer, only to find out afterwards he stole almost all of his material from Bill Hicks, which it could be like maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But then he released his second and final stand-up special a few years later, and it is unwatchable.
Oh, yeah. It's brutal.
Is that the black hole one? It's
think,
like something black hole, or he does it in like an all black room. I forget what it is.
No, I think there was No Cure for Cancer that he did that one. But
you're right. Okay.
I do know one of the things that always stands out for me is and immediately dates it. You know, the tag he uses about 15 to 20 times in that is www.whatthefuck.com.
And he wrote that and he was like, this is going to age beautifully. The internet's never going away.
Oh, yeah. Richard Pryor, George Carlin, move on over. That's what he was thinking right in that.
Well, that's like somebody in like 2011 saying like hashtag, I don't know.
Yep. Like, I think that's Nick Cannon's stand-up special, actually. I
just hit his closer. I think that's his closer.
All right.
And then he just stands on stage with his fists in the air.
All right, so Scotty and Dennis Leary are still unsure of each other. Scotty asks him to play catch, but Dennis Leary never gets around to it because he's an asshole. We see him watch Dennis Leary put away Chekhov's signed Babe Ruth baseball. So I keep mentioning Chekhov's gun a lot on this podcast. Do you guys have any idea what Chekhov's gun is?
No.
Okay, it's something you can apply to all. It's something you can apply to all writing, but Chekhov was a playwright. And very specifically, he said, don't have anything that isn't going to pay off in some way. So if in the main setting of your play, if there is a gun hanging out just on the set for no reason, it better go off in the second act. So in this case, they're setting up, I'm referring to the Babe Ruth baseball as Chekhov's Babe Ruth baseball because we're seeing it now. It's going to pay off. So there's a bunch of boys that play baseball all day at the Sandlot, which... Again, as somebody, John, you're the same age as me. Any place like this would have been chained up. It would have been chained up aside from 3 days a week when there had to be supervision there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it wouldn't have been just 9 kids. If you had that much access to it, there wouldn't have been 9 kids in an abandoned lot. There would be 30 smashing bottles, and one kid had a mini bike, and you're like, we're going to build a ramp. That's what it would have been. That's my Sandlot, is jumping a mini ramp off of milk crates.
They would build the ramp right on the fucking pitcher's mound, and that would be contesting. Yeah, I do think of areas like this as a kid, and it's there would be kids trying to play baseball. There'd be kids just breaking bottles. There'd be kids who stole cigarettes and beer who have crusty pornography somewhere.
Yeah.
See pornography.
So I tried to think of how, because I remember asking my dad, because I figured this was around when he was probably around that same age. And he said we would just go play baseball for hours. And I thought about it. I was we never did that, but we had Little League, but then we would go play street hockey for hours in a parking lot. So that was what I could kind of like. This is sort of that. There was always like a tennis court or a parking lot to an apartment complex that had enough open spaces where you could play like a good street hockey game instead of just like in front of your house. So that was kind of like, I think that was my Sandlot, was we'd play like neighborhoods versus neighborhoods and stuff. And I didn't think about it until like looking back on it now.
Gotcha. See, I feel like my generation, we got it. Well, we're the same generation. Got it just a little bit later. Like that young, we were not allowed to run roughshod. But in like my teen years, like we'd play basketball, but that's when it became like we're out for hours on end, walking around with people, you know, trying to get the hot girl to come outside, and her dad is chasing you away because he knows you just want to face fuck his daughter. A more innocent time. Anyway, so
yeah, a simpler time, if you will.
So the kids, they describe the games they play. They never choose sides. They never keep score. It's a never-ending game. There's 8 kids, and Scotty wants to join despite having no idea how to play, which leads to question number 1.
That's my thing. They also technically never play baseball. They're just practicing.
I was going to say, I don't think there's any games that occur except where they play the bullies.
They play against the bullies who are just the little league kids. And I love that they made them as like, these are the rich kids kind of attitude.
Because they have all they have is uniforms. It's basically the big differentiator between them.
But you do make a good point. They're not playing Pepper. They're not playing rundown. They're just taking turns catching or pitching or swinging the bat. Like nobody's like, you got him out at third. Like, it's like, okay, all right, good job, buddy. You hit a double. Get the fucking left field. There's only so many of us.
Ghost man on all the bases because everyone's got to play the field right now.
That would be great if there's a director's cut that's like 6 hours long because they include like 2 full games that actually happened during the movie.
A doubleheader.
And it's just unimpressive. Final score is like 2-1. It's like, Jesus Christ.
All right. Do either of you guys have a story about trying to awkwardly fit in at this age? I have a very disturbing one. I was like 13 years old. Me and my friends got invited to hang out with some older kids who were, you know, like, they're older kids. I don't know. They're kind of cool. It was a party in a backyard. They had a cross burning in their backyard. And, Belmar, New Jersey, baby.
Beautiful.
That's what it
North
is.
North or South Jersey, Belmar? Which one were you?
South, like right over
That'll
the bridge.
do it.
With the W.
Yeah, so
that
was
so
uncomfortable.
you found an accidental Ku Klux membership.
Maybe
I do enjoy.
I was. Was I just too close to the cross, and that's how it happens? You're like automatically in.
Did they tell you, like, yeah, you know, no big deal. Bring beer, maybe a sandwich, wear something white. I don't know.
Just whatever you got.
Yeah. I think at that time I did not own a single article of clothing that was white. Although I think I was still dressed I was wearing a Pantera T-shirt. I had like I had a case of MGD. I was good.
You're wearing all of the other accoutrement that a Klansman may wear.
Yeah, exactly. I was a Klansman who it was laundry day, sheet day,
or clan adjacent, if you will.
So how about you guys?
Mine relates it's almost the same story from Sandlot. The first time I ever tried chewing tobacco, it was 100% trying to look cool. And it was, Matt and I were talking about this earlier, like the things that people are like, oh, you're doing that to impress girls. And I remember I was watching a freshman girls soccer game after school. And my friend was like, hey, do you want to dip? And I was like, yeah, there's girls around. They'll see me use tobacco. They'll think I'm cool. I didn't know that the first time you dip, you get high, essentially. Like you get a buzz, like a pretty good buzz. And so I put in like a huge pinch. I didn't know how much to do. Put one in that went from like lip to lip, like corner to corner in your mouth. And then was like, oh, we should probably walk to the one-stop shop over here. And I couldn't walk. I was like about to puke. But I'm like, I'm going to leave it in. I look cool. Stumbled across the street, ended up throwing up next to the one-stop shop, like everything that was in my stomach. And it was 100% to just try to look. For some reason, I was like, girls will think tobacco use is cool, although smoking is the cool one.
Yeah, these
I was
girls
like,
are gonna see me chewing dip like their
Yeah.
scary uncle they don't want to be alone with. They're gonna be
Right.
so impressed.
I'm gonna trigger some bad memories for them. And there was also these older baseball players are gonna see me doing it, and they're probably gonna tell the coach to start me next week on varsity.
Yeah. Wow. I remember when I watched the movie the first time, I didn't get it. And like they tried to I think my stepdad said to me, like, you're supposed to spit it, and they were just swallowing it. I don't know where he inferred that, but
Yeah.
I think
It is not
it's very universal
It is not
advice.
something you stomach. And then I ended up later on just dipping for a long number of years because I continued to play baseball. And it's not something, even like as I got older, I couldn't like swallow the chew spit. I had friends that could, they would never, but yeah, it's something that'll trigger your stomach. So if you ever want to get something out of your stomach, put some dip in your mouth.
Beautiful.
good to know.
Medical
Nature's
advice.
Ipecac. Peoples, what about you?
This one is either going to make great sense or make no sense at all. I grew up going to a private school. I was a private school little fella, and so
The
in private
Catholic
school,
school. Don't say it like you were going to like some
I went to Jesuit
boarding
school. Yeah.
private school that also half of my town went to.
School for the young and talented is where I went. Thank you, gentlemen. But I went to a private school, and so my thing is like, when you get to fourth grade, you're so concerned with becoming and sounding cool. So I was like, I gotta have a thing that'll make me cool, but I couldn't come up with something. So I just told people when I'm not in school, I wear a backwards hat at all times. Like that's just who I am. I just thought that was sick. I thought people think it's so cool. So my friends were like, "Oh, nice." So fourth grade, that's when sleepovers started. So this is like one of my first times seeing friends outside of school because I would just hang out normally with like kids in my neighborhood. So we go to the sleepover, and I just had to spend what ended up being like 17 hours wearing a backwards hat. The worst part is I didn't own any hats. Like I was not a hat guy at all. I don't even know why I picked that lane to live in. I wasn't me. I never wore hats. So I just had to I had to try out a hat for the first time for 17 hours straight, and I had to sleep in it because I was like, yeah, I even sleep in the goddamn hat.
Always.
I'm not going to let these kids down. I had to perform. So I ended up wearing a hat got to the house at like 8 p.m., 7 p.m., and I left the next day at 10, and I did not take the hat off.
I mean,
they
seemed impressed by it.
It's pretty good. I mean, I think, yeah, some of the kids I'm still friends with to the day, and it comes up every once in a while.
Is that why you're still wearing a backwards hat right now?
I'm glad you picked up on it. No, but this is very ironic that I am wearing it. But that was
I want
a
to
real
feel
thing.
cool in front of you guys. So.
Oh, I don't want to be left out.
No.
But I don't have any hats in here.
That was an upsetting backwards hat there.
That really was like 90s shorthand for like, that's a cool kid that marches to the beat of his own drummer.
That's right.
But that was in the 2000s.
That's what's even worse. I don't even think hats were cool at that point. I was just like, this is what I do. I should have been wearing like a backwards beret and just been like, I paint so well. Just something, make it even cooler.
Poetry is my thing, man.
Yeah.
Wow. The 90s were barely over and you were already doing 90s throwbacks.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
All right. So while distracted by a dog noise, a fly ball comes right at Scotty, which he totally whiffs catching. He tries to throw back while repeating to himself, "Don't be a goofus." And fucking whiffs it again. The kids all point and laugh at him. He runs away crying, and he deserves it. He goes home to play a Rector set, and his mom tells him to quit being a bitch, go out, get dirty, get in trouble. I'm trying to suck Dennis Leary's dick over here.
Wait, also when he's playing with the Erector set, and it's like loading a ball bearing, like and send it down a ramp eventually to launch it.
Uh-huh.
It drills her in the forehead when she opens the door.
You can see
and she doesn't even skip a beat. She's like, you playing with your toys again? You got to get to bed. Don't be a bitch. She might be the most badass 90s mom there is. She took essentially a bullet to the forehead.
There's an alternate 15-minute cut of this movie where it just goes clean through and she drops. And you know what happens? You know what happens? He fucking frames Dennis Leary for murder. That's a whole.
That's a great plot.
Yeah.
All right. Dennis Leary tries to teach him to catch, gives him a black eye instead. It's the 60s, so nobody they figure he talked back to his stepdad. Good on him.
And they did the quintessential thing. They brought him in and they put a stake on his eye.
Yes.
Which I remember doing as a kid when I got a black eye from a hockey stick, a butt of a hockey stick. I came in, I was like, I need a steak. And my parents were just like, what? I'm like, it's in TV and movies. It has to work. I thought like in my mind, I was like, yeah, like the protein from the steak goes into your skin and it heals it. That's got to make sense, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like ice peas. Like, no, it's gotta be a steak.
Yeah.
Okay, so playing hard to get has paid off as the super cool kid Benny invites him to come play, even loaning him his mitt. I'm gonna get into that a little bit. It really feels like Benny is kind of like seducing him.
He's thirsty.
Nah.
And he's very thirsty for Scotty.
All right, so let's meet the team. We have Benny the Jet Rodriguez, the cool, talented one who only wants to play ball. Ham, the funny fat kid who is, of course, the catcher. Squints, the dork with thick glasses, and basically the rest. Yeah. He says, yeah. Timmy and Tommy, the younger and older Bland brothers. The black pitcher Kenny, who is also the black pitcher. And
That's actually his name in the movie, Black Pitcher Kenny.
And Bertram, who's just kind of the weirdo. He has no real characteristics. I need to share something with you, though. Many, many years ago, this came up into my field of vision. Yeah grew up into a Jersey Shore piece of shit.
Yeah,
That's incredible.
So let's watch this clip
Yeah.
real quick of Yeah.
Have you ever seen the movie The Sandlot?
This is Yeah from
Yeah.
No way.
First of all,
I'm a motherfucking goddamn movie star. I was in one movie in 1993.
is this fucking Asian
Dude,
motherfucker? Second of all,
Is it a requirement if your V-neck is that deep to start every sentence off with "first of all"?
So I miss he calls this. Listen to what he says about this interviewer.
First of all, who the fuck is this fucking Asian motherfucker? Second of all, I'm a goddamn movie star. I've been on TMZ 10 times. Look my name up, Marty York. Don't you're asked to motorboat my chick? I'll fuck you up, dude, right now. Unless you know motherfucking Bruce Lee Kung Fu, I will fucking kill you.
Yeah.
Fucking Brooklyn, dude, I'll fucking murder you right now.
I tried, sorry.
Motherfucking Marty York from the motherfucking Sandlot. Look me up on my TMZ. I've been on there 10 times. I'm a goddamn.
Oh no.
I don't know what
Oh.
you motherfuckers are doing right here, but I'll fucking seriously fuck you up. I made a fucking solid steel. Look at that shit. Fuck
There
you.
it is. Can't believe it took that long for him to lift the shirt. That was-
Yeah.
held that in.
Great close.
Oh God.
My God, it's painful, and
I love
I
it.
like Yeah. I was a Yeah fan from the
You
show.
would not think he would grow into that, but
One of them
Just
has
shows
to
you
do it. There's too many kids
True.
in that movie that one guy's got to become a Jersey Shore douchebag. Like they all can't be wildly likable guys or die cool. Like one of them, especially a guy named Yeah. If you're a jerk, like he's now like Yeah. Like that's who he is now, and it seems like he's embraced it. And it's even better because it sounds like the girls introducing him. He was kind of like fake humble for maybe like 13 seconds.
I didn't want to do it to him, but you know.
I would
Also,
I
there's-
would bet hard money he has a crucifix tattoo on him that says Yeah on the arm.
Oh yes, left
Yeah,
shoulder,
yeah.
right there. That's unbelievable. But I will say, there's like he sounds like a fucking douche, but the context of the video is him telling the guy, "Don't ask to motorboat my chick." So maybe Yeah has a little leeway here, where a strange young man comes up and asks to motorboat his girlfriend. I can see a little.
Are you pulling?
animus.
You're pulling a Rodney King, George Floyd here. Like, oh, we didn't see what happened
no.
before the video rolled.
Oh god, that's
If you're
quite a
living
leap.
that life, you're constantly in a "did you try to motorboat my chick" mentality. If you're living that life,
He did
'Cause they
not say,
need to
"Did you
justify-
try?" He
Yeah.
asked for clarification. Did you you asked to motorboat my chick?
oh,
I'm a
Never
Yeah
mind
defender. I'm good. Whatever
You
the
know what?
QAnon version is for Yeah
Ah,
defense, I'm
You're
in it.
a Yeah apologist. My God.
I want to see that like Bartram got like the actor got like really into emo bands, the opposite like end of
I
the
can see
spectrum of a
See,
Yeah.
a Jersey Shore guy.
him I could not find. I was convinced that kid also appeared in Mighty Ducks. I was confusing him.
He
However,
looks exactly like the kid from the farm.
yes, the cowboy kid.
Yeah.
However, if we're talking like great fucking luck as like a child actor in the 90s, two of these guys, Benny the Jet and Kenny the Pitcher, both become Mighty Ducks.
Oh shit! Yeah, I forgot about that. He's a guy that can't stop. Is Benny the Jet?
That's right. He can shoot like a motherfucker, but he cannot break.
No
on the
brakes.
ice.
Ooh,
All right.
I forgot about that. Yeah, the pitcher is too.
They're two sports icons. They're like Jordan.
When you were saying earlier, it was just a coincidence that all three movies were 90s, were all sports movies.
Mhm.
It wasn't, because I feel like every movie in the 90s for that age range somehow revolved around sports
True.
or
I mean,
a
well,
blank check.
blank check. I really wanted to do fucking Angus, which is. Are either of you guys familiar with Angus?
Yes. I love Angus. Yeah.
It's the grunge version of a kids movie, like where the fat kid is the hero and like the hot chick has bulimia, and I think everybody like kills himself. His grandpa dies. George C. Scott.
It's very dark. It's like right on the edge of almost not being a kids movie, but it is.
Oh yeah.
Is it I've never seen. Is it a Disney movie? What's the deal with old
Yeah, so
Angus?
Disney went dark for 2
It might,
years.
it might have been. I don't know, but it's like a poor fat
Disney
kid.
does own everything. Do you ever see that, like the
That is
web
fun.
of everything that Disney owns?
Mhm.
It's like they own like companies that compete against each other.
Yeah.
God, it's also insane. All right, we're gonna run out of time in like 5 minutes, so
Sorry.
let me get through some of this. Well, no, it's the fucking Zoom thing. So Ham is doing a great Bambino impression. Scotty doesn't know who the great Bambino is. He fakes it because Scotty's a pussy. The boys don't like Scotty, but Benny points out that they now have a full 9-man team because there was another kid who used to move away. We also get repeated much throughout my life when Squints refers to Scotty as an L7 weenie. Beautiful.
Beautiful quote. Timeless.
I didn't know for the longest time that meant square L7.
Oh my God! I didn't know till that right now.
Which
I
is funny
didn't- I
because
knew you weren't gonna know,
More,
and I'm
it's,
glad.
this is a rectangle.
Yeah, you're a
guys.
rectangle.
I mean,
Wait a minute. L7. Oh wow. This is
It's like a square
earth-shattering.
weenie.
Holy shit. That's the tattoo that Yeah has. He has a fucking L7 tattoo that says "Don't motorboat my girlfriend."
L7 was actually a great 90s all-female grunge band who
Ooh.
they famously played a music festival where the crowd was throwing shit at them, and the lead singer pulled a tampon out of her skirt and threw it
Yes.
into the crowd. Back when,
And that's where the weenie comes from.
and that's where the lead All right. Basically, Benny tells Scotty to chill out, and they figured out if they were 3 years older, he would have given them like a spliff to smoke. And I actually did have the thought, like, this movie might be a prequel to like Dazed and Confused. Like they all grow into that.
Oh, that's good. I love that theory. Because the
So-
timeline almost checks out.
Yeah, good. So the advice works. Scotty catches and throws the ball decently, and the boys immediately accept him. Benny gives Scotty his glove to keep, in addition to a new hat to replace his hilarious fishing hat with a 4-foot brim. This is where I get into it. Really feels like Benny is trying to fuck Scotty.
He didn't just happen to have those things on him. I always carry 2 hats, one in my back pocket,
2 gloves?
as well as another glove. Like, yeah, he knew what he was doing. He was grooming Scotty.
Yes.
Really grooming. Yeah.
The kid moved away to another school where Benny the fondler Rodriguez could not get to him any longer.
And is it a coincidence he's taller and bigger and most likely got to be far older? Who knows? Who knows?
Hotter too. And to touch on our podcast name, Benny Jet Rodriguez might be the first handsome idiot of
He's up there.
Hollywood fame in our age range.
Him and Johnny Travolta, I would say, are the two pioneers. Different age groups, but they got the job done.
But handsome nonetheless.
All right. Ham hits a home run over the fence. Scotty, being nude, says, "I'll get it." The kids panic and prevent him from hopping the fence. They convene later that night in a gnarly tree fort to explain to Scotty the legend of the beast. So, with the quick amount of time before you have to jump on a different Zoom, what was the scary thing or person in your neighborhood that you avoided as a kid? We had a special mentally disadvantaged man who was very creepy, but in retrospect was just sad and harmless, named Special Dave.
So Dave,
I think. Well, John's going to announce that he was Special Dave, so you're ready for
Oh,
a real reveal
dude.
yeah. Well,
Dave, you're doing great.
Yeah,
They got that
really
spine
swinging for the
straightened out.
fences. Nope. Mine was so the neighbor. I grew up in like a suburban neighborhood, and like any suburban neighborhood had the woods off the back of it.
Mm.
But on the backside of the woods, there was a neighborhood that was technically in the town over, so we didn't know anyone in there. But it was like more of a rundown neighborhood, so we never knew. We're like, you don't even know how to get into that neighborhood. We heard there's no way in and no way out. So it was
God.
like we're scared to death of that. And I think it was because no kids must have lived in it, so they never came over into the woods. If we ran into the kids, we would have been like, "Oh, cool, we'll go play Sandlot together." but like we were just scared of that, and we're like, we're never gonna go over there. Meanwhile, we couldn't because there was like a creek separating it. So that was probably the scare. My neighborhood was very unscary, very suburban. It was like built in the 80s, so cookie cutter everything.
Gotcha. Peoples, how about you?
I don't know if there was really. I kind of grew up in a pretty. Who would have thought me and John grew up in not scary neighborhoods? But I don't know. I guess the scariest thing was I used to skateboard as a kid, and there was a group of like older kids that skateboarded. And the one day they asked if I wanted to come skateboard with them because they would skate down like a cul-de-sac down my street, and I would skate kind of alone, like in front of my house. And they all would skate shirtless. And at this point, I was very pale, and I was kind of built
at that point. As opposed to exactly now, the person I'm
no, now I'm dark and Italian. And
it's the contrast on the
now
footage.
I'm dark and Italian. You better not motorboat my bitch.
Don't dare do it, cousin. But
okay. Oh. That's okay. We ran out of time anyway. Everybody jump on the second link.
Okay.
Cool.
Again, you can just join if you want.
All right, we're back. Matt Peoples' phone died, but he will be rejoining us in a minute. So Scotty arrives to the treehouse, and Ham offers him a s'more. Scotty, of course, has no idea what that is, and we get "You're killing me, Smalls." Where the fuck did Scotty move from that he doesn't know anything? What's a s'more? Who's Babe Ruth? What's a baseball?
Yeah. Who am I? What are we all doing?
They're
here?
geographically close enough. I honestly think that Scotty might be Mormon.
Oh yeah, nice little Utah move. His mom got out of the Mormon family when she married Dennis Leary. Clearly not a Mormon.
That's right.
Too vulgar.
He took her away from all that, from her.
He brought her to the valley.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to live in that time and in that town so bad for the longest time. Like that to me is like, if I could have a perfect life. Again, you're looking at like the glamour of the Hollywood end of it.
Mm-hmm.
But like that is where I'm like, this is perfect. This is the perfect time, especially to be a white guy.
I think every person over 50 watching Fox News, that is the place they are fantasizing.
Yeah, they're like, maybe not so many dark pictures, but
that's right. You got the one dark picture, but that's fine.
It's just enough.
They knew their place back then, Johnny. That's what I'm talking about. See, I'm always worried people are going to think I am racist just because I have known so many fucking racists that I'm very good at, intimidating them.
You're just well versed. You were, like I said, you're clan adjacent.
Yes, God. All right, so we get the legend of the beast. 20 years ago, Mr. Myrtle gets a dog to protect his junkyard. The thing gets huge and eats burglars left and right. Cops get involved, including Squint's grandpa, and tell him to chain it up. And we get one of the greatest lines in all of film history coming up right here.
Police chief back then, when he ordered Mr. Myrtle to turn his backyard into a fortress and chain up the beast.
That's right. By the way, great casting on Squint's grandpa here. Like, it looks just like him.
But and also, at certain points, he looks black.
He does.
And I realized that upon rewatch recently. I was like, wait, Squints like distantly have a black grandfather? Like, that's awesome that they thought of this in '93. Mm-hmm. It's just definitely the tone of it.
Oh yeah, but even like the fact that they just put this little black and white, like it looks like a 1950s like giant monster movie. It really does look cool, which were honestly all shot in the fucking valley. Like, these people do a lot.
This definitely tells you that one, it took place where the internet didn't exist, obviously, but two, Scotty wasn't from any town right around there, because you would have heard about the dog that has eaten multiple burglars. Mm-hmm. That story, no matter, there's no internet.
That doesn't stay local. That goes regional.
Yeah, that goes through a couple different area codes.
And of course, the greatest line ever.
Because when Mr. Myrtle asked the cops how long he had to keep the beast chained up like a slave, they said until
forever.
Had to mouth it. I still, to this day, can't hear the word forever and not think about that. Like, it could be, it could have been in my wedding vows. Like, she'd be like, I'll be with you forever. And in my head, I'm going, forever. Which, shit, now I'm thinking about it. I'm 3 years too late. I should have put that in my wedding vows.
such a wasted opportunity.
You know what? Next one.
That's right. As an adult, I realize now this is more the story of like a man being asked to leash his dog. That's all it really is.
Yeah.
Like if that's the
Yeah.
kind of guy Mr. Myrtle is, this probably followed months of the dog shitting on lawns. Mr. Myrtle probably plays horrible music loud late at night.
I don't want to spoil the ending when you get to find out who Mr. Myrtle is.
I know.
But-
By the way, small detail you can see after watching the whole movie now. They did shoot that at Mr. Myrtle's actual like screen door that we see him in later.
Oh, okay. That's a nice little tidbit.
Yeah.
Because the fact that he's in two of the biggest baseball movies of all time is amazing.
What's the other movie he's in?
Field of Dreams.
I've never seen it.
Oh, I could do it. I could cry through a whole episode of that, Jesse. If you ever want to have someone on and watch him cry.
Isn't that one?
I got you.
That one's a dead dad movie, isn't it?
That was a dead dad. And when my dad passed, I wanted to watch that movie so bad. I don't think I ever can because I cried pretty hard when he passed. I don't think I can handle how hard I'll cry. I'm like choked up thinking about it
Dude,
if I watch that.
My dead dad movie, my fucking.
All right. Can you guys hear me?
Hey. Yeah.
All right,
Here
cool.
goes
Get back.
Matt with his live.
Oh my God, dude! I just sprint out to my car, get my headset. I'm a 37,000-year-old man.
Did you have to beat up your roommate in the middle of his Fortnite tournament?
I did. He's such a pussy. He couldn't even take me. All right, sorry about that, guys. My bad. It died literally as I was talking. Sorry about that.
Let's go. We're about to run out of time anyway. John, so if we're talking dead dad movies, have you ever seen Big Fish?
Yes. And I
Dude.
saw it while my dad was good and alive, and my dad told me to watch it. Another one I cannot watch probably now that he's passed. Like, I'll melt.
I watched that 10 years. That movie brought me to sobs when my dad was alive and well.
Yeah.
I watched it around 10 years after he died and just like put me down for a day.
I watched that on a plane to California. My wife and I at the time were just dating, and we didn't get to sit next to each other for some reason. Like, we got split up on the plane because we flew cheap, as we always do. And I watched that movie, and I think it's the first time she ever saw me cry because she looked back, and I'm just on the plane, just like just
Losing it.
weeping. And we get off, and she's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Altitude, am I right?" Like, Jesus.
Oh, good. All right. So we see Squints checking out a hot blonde, Wendy Peppercorn. And let's be pigs for a minute. Wendy Peppercorn is a stone cold fucking fox.
So here's the only research I did before this. I wanted to make sure before we got into this how old Wendy Peppercorn, the actress, was when they shot this. She was 19 years old. I did
Wendy
the math.
Peppercorn
I got a calculator.
is fucking hot. There we go. That's
Yeah.
great information to have, John. Thank you. That's a huge.
We are okay, boys.
Oh, thank God.
And they even show the nice, the nice butt wiggle shot in that
Oh,
fucking dress. Which you know what?
Yeah.
Speaking for myself personally, as a little kid, first into girls, even sexy older girls, butt was an afterthought. You don't even think of the butt. A butt,
So Sandlot's ahead of its
appreciation
time.
comes with age.
It's adulthood. Yeah.
Oh, you muted yourself, John.
He's just talking so fast about this. He's so passionate.
Oh, hold on. Damn it.
All right, we're here now. We're here now.
Shit.
But you can't hear us.
1 second.
Oh shit.
going.
We're the worst. Sorry, we're giving Jesse the worst problems of all time here.
All right,
Nice job,
so,
John. Now it's your fault, not mine.
Matt, what was your first young crush on an older lady?
Ooh, first young crush on an older lady. I would say I think my first crush was an older lady and was a multitude of older ladies. I would go into work with my mom a lot. She worked at a YMCA where the women were 35 and ready to get loose at any moment. Who knows? If any of them are watching, which hey, how you doing?
They're probably still single.
Yeah.
No, I think my mom is still actively friends with them. So this would be quite a conversation to have. But I think a lot of my mom's friends, I was like, damn, this is what the game's all about, folks. Just 32-year-old women. I think they had kids my age. Like their daughters were all my age. And I was like, I'm not worried about you young Wendy Peppercorns. I'm
The
here.
ones I can get.
I'm here for the mom. So that's I think that's what it was. I think I loved older women at a young age.
Nice. Okay, I can respect that. John,
Yeah.
how about you?
Aside from Jessica Rabbit, which was a weird one that our whole generation was duped into liking, It's Wendy Peppercorn and it's Winnie Cooper from the Wonder Years. I love it, and I don't know if it's because of that time frame. Maybe again, I love that era. But those are and the third more recent would be Topanga Lawrence. Those were the three, and they were right at the same time, I think.
But Topanga was kind of young, even like when
I think
you guys
I'm the-
first back in your
No, I
guys'
think-
day. Wasn't she younger, around your age, or what was the deal there?
She was like
always
a year older, a year or
Yeah.
two older.
Same. All right. Well, you know what?
But
You
yeah.
actually you jumped ahead on a question I wanted to ask.
Oh, okay.
Which is there are particular styles on women that I find irresistible by decade. Like the 60s, her when we see Wendy Peppercorn in that little like dress, the 60s
Yeah.
thing, just a nice yellow. I'm all about that. Audrey Hepburn in the fucking like beatnik, like kind of 40s, 50s thing. All about it. You guys have like a certain era where just like the style just gets you going.
I think in the vein of Wendy Peppercorn, it's just lifeguard style. It carried from her to Baywatch to, I don't know, Baywatch 2. I realized I got to realize my love of Wendy Peppercorn on Halloween one year. My wife and I decided to go as Squints and Wendy Peppercorn. I was like, oh, okay, this would be a great costume.
Nice.
And my wife's blonde and everything, and she goes like, she's very great at costume. She did a Mary Poppins, and you'd be like, shit, was she an extra in the movie? And so she went all out. She had to get like the exact bathing suit. She came downstairs to go to the party we were going to, and I was like, holy shit, I married Wendy Peppercorn. Like I had this moment, and she had the exact glasses, the bathing suit, and I was like, I know I love you, but I think you and Wendy Peppercorn mashed together. I was like Googling rings that night. Like we weren't married yet. I'm like, I'm going to put a baby in this woman.
The role playing that night must have been just unbelievable. Whatever party was.
Yeah.
Fake
Baby,
grounding.
will you call me a little pervert?
Why do you think I got these glasses always on hand and a baseball hat? I'm like, I'm still Squints. Yeah, that was, but I think lifeguard just carries throughout my life. all tones of it.
Fair.
Matt,
I think we are failing to mention probably an elite icon of that time, Aunt Becky. Really, I mean, and when you add the layers now that she's a fucking incarcerated criminal, I mean,
God.
Good Lord,
Naughty.
that woman, it really does it for me. Did back in the day, does even more now, I think.
Nice. Okay, yeah, and now Aunt Becky, legendarily hot. I mean, can't really
Still is.
that.
Still unbelievable. I mean, those that mugshot, I'll really get off to that
Who
one.
stayed hotter, her or Stamos? Stamos got hotter.
Ooh, that's
Stamos got
one.
pretty hot. Stamos got pretty hot.
And he still is, man. The man is hawking yogurt like no one's business to this day. Like
Hawking yogurt. It's actually our new podcast we're starting. It's called Hawking
hawking
Yogurt.
yogs.
Handsome idiots, hawking yogurt.
We need to.
All right. So the kids complain it's too hot. Benny wants to play anyway because he's OCD about baseball. He tries reverse psychology, saying, raise your hand if you're a wuss that wears your mama's bra. And they all raise their hands because fuck Benny and his cult psychology bullshit.
Yeah, but statistically, someone in that group went on to wear their mom's bra.
Oh, I mean, come on.
Let's try it out. Sometimes I feel sexy.
That's just good fun. Hey, I remember when I was dating a somewhat loose girl, I realized I'm gonna have to be grabbing titties soon. I'm not gonna be caught not knowing how to take a bra off. So look in the laundry.
Wow.
That's right.
Huh. I just freelanced it. Good for you guys.
Freelanced.
Listen,
I just went around grabbing girls' bras.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: is that my spirit animal in this movie is definitely Ham, especially when he's here walking around trying to flirt with these ladies. As again, a pudgy little tittied boy. I needed to know. I couldn't have any hesitation getting that bra off. Is another moment she may come to her senses and go, "Why am I doing anything?"
She might wake up, and I don't want to make this awkward.
Well, I think on the unedited director's cut, I think there's like a 4 or 5 minute sex scene that involves Ham. So I think they were alluding to his confidence here. They were trying to show you the character development.
And they show everything.
Oh yeah, it's really upsetting. Yeah.
Oh, look at this charmer with the kiss.
He really does still look exactly the same now.
Unbelievable.
I don't know. And yes, I ruined many a day by splashing the girls all with water.
Oh yeah, I usually
Look
started
at
dates
that
with a
fucking
splash.
cutie.
I mean, that's unbelievable.
I'm telling you, my wife nailed the glasses, and I'm getting. We might have to end this podcast right now, and I got to go digging through the costume bin.
I hate to tag off, but she looks a little bit like my girlfriend does now. I think I
She
might
actually
have,
really does.
it's
now
a
that I'm thinking
little.
about it.
I mean, well,
Well, Matt,
I'll
if
tell
you
you
need to
one thing.
borrow a costume,
I hate bangs, but she's pulling it off.
oh, killing them, murdering, and those
Yeah.
glasses. Good Lord above.
Hey now. God,
oiling and
turn my screen off
lotioning,
real quick.
lotioning and oiling.
Man, oiling.
Lotioning.
This thing,
Oil.
I identify with Squints here because you're at this age where you have this explosive sexuality and nobody's touching your dick for years, especially in
Yeah.
1962.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the girls you're going to school with are still getting hymen checks in this era.
Yeah, but now these kids, if this was current day, they would have already had subscriptions to her OnlyFans. Like, so this wouldn't have been anything exciting.
If this
True.
movie were more true to its time, then the guy, I can't remember the name, the main guy, the Darth Vader in the movie who has the dog. God, I can't
James
think
Earl
of it.
Jones.
James Earl Jones. If they were staying true to the time in this era, his dick would be touched, but James Earl Jones would be involved in that scenario. If they're saying what was real like in the 60s.
All right, so
All right, we'll move on from that.
sorry.
I wanted to hear you dig your way out of that one.
It sounded fun when I started, and then it ended real.
It's always a good start when you don't know the name of the guy you're talking about.
And people love that. I think they respect it. Yeah.
All right, so Squints has enough. He goes to the deep end of the pool and jumps in despite not knowing how to swim. And we get this incredible scene burned into everybody's mind forever of Wendy giving him mouth-to-mouth resuscitation as the boys sit by. Fucking smile. That shit-eating.
How Yaya has all Yaya tattooed on him. Squints definitely has this tattooed on him, but with the Joker face paint on like his ribcage
Yeah.
right now.
Oh, yeah. But and of course the great thing, he goes back to I'm unconscious, and when the song kicks in is just such great filmmaking.
Just
And
Yeah.
with
The
venereal
amount of
disease.
alcohol I put into my system to think that again girls would like a drunk guy. I think I risked my life every night in college. I think you're right.
I almost got in a knife fight once, but it was worth it.
It was with the girl though, and the winner got the pussy.
Well, how does that end? Did it work out? Is there a little more context to that?
I was already dating her. I had stolen her away from her high school boyfriend, and then she basically went back and she was dating me, and then cheated on me with him, and then vice versa. By the way, the fun part of this is this was also this high school boyfriend was in the process of transitioning into a woman, so all sorts of confusing things.
A
Going
truly
on.
layered story.
And he was a great knifesman. Who knew that?
Yeah.
Well, he was Puerto Rican, so I mean the facts are what they
Oh.
are. I can't be. I can't.
I'm sorry, Jesse. She was Puerto Rican. Thanks.
I'm sorry.
It was Puerto Rican, okay?
Oh boy. Thank God somebody outdid my James Earl Joe comment. All right, good.
Guys, this was 2010. I didn't know any better other than
That's man. They were ahead of the curve. There you go. Now that I
They
saved
were?
it on that
They
pronoun.
were. Good save. Good save.
Very good.
So we can all agree this would not fly in the Me Too era, but Squints is a fucking legend for this. The man knew what he wanted, would not be denied. We would all get banned from the pool that day, much like they did. But Squints looks up through the fence at her, and she gives him a look that says, "You slick piece of shit."
Girls love a piece of shit. Nice guys
They sure
finish
do.
last.
Mhm.
They love the guy that takes what he wants and pretends to drown for it.
So, all right, not important to the plot, but we get like a beautiful little segment over Ray Charles, America the Beautiful, of them playing night on the 4th of July because the fireworks light the field up. So there's a reason people like this movie so much, and part of it is that the plot is all over the fucking place. Like regular movie, they're trying to move forward the main plot of the Beast or Scotty fitting in, but Scotty fits in 20 minutes into this movie, and then they just fuck around until the ball goes missing.
Yeah, I mean, this movie could have been a show, a series. Like every segment could have been an episode.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's kind of
Like-
true. Nowadays they would just make like a 8 or 9 episode series about if they had this
Yeah,
much
like
stuff to
there's-
work with.
There's kind of a common through line, but really you could pull any of these segments out and watch it as a 15-minute clip and be like, That was entertaining. Like,
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And this was cool. This kind of felt like it was in the same vein. I think the movie came out much earlier, but like A Christmas Story, where it's just kind of like
Yep.
glorifying the mundane, and it's just so enthralling because you're just sitting there relating for an hour and a half. By the way,
But
that's the most beautiful thing I've ever said in my entire life. But go ahead.
yeah,
sorry.
you put mundane and enthralling in the same sentence.
I will submit you for a Peabody Award.
I'll take it.
But I feel like those are important for nostalgia movies, though, because it's not just this. You want all the little slice of life. Although I will point out one thing. This scene fucks up the entire timeline of this movie because he is moving into town 2 weeks before school starts, and then 4 weeks later, it's 4th of July. Does school start?
Oh, that's good.
No, wasn't it 2 weeks before school ended? Was it? Oh, maybe you're right. You might be right.
It would
Maybe
make
you're right.
it would make more sense. I might be wrong. I'm pretty sure.
But no, I
that's
give you.
right.
What also pissed me off was, this is skipping ahead, but when the Little League team comes to play against them, they show up in leather varsity jackets in California in July. Absolute horseshit.
Yep.
It's literally it's felt in the thickest pleather you've ever felt. Riding your bike around, go fuck yourself.
All right. Well, because you mentioned that, so yeah, the little kids show up and they talk some shit, and we get this classic exchange of prepubescent shit talking.
Shut up, idiot! Moron! Scab eater! Butt sniffer! Puss licker! Fart smeller!
Fart smeller, always a good one.
You eat dog crap for breakfast, geek! You mix your weeds with your mama's toe jam! Yeah!
I don't think I've ever actually seen toe jam. Is that just me? Is that a myth? Does that exist?
I've never.
I've been known to pull a substance out of a toe or two. I don't know if I'd call it jam. But
Lord above.
It's more of a jelly, more of a margarine.
That's fair. Also, very bold to just be so close. Calling somebody a puss licker. I mean, you are just a pronunciation away from a totally different insult.
Yeah,
I want to see the real cut of the words they would have used at this time. It would have been so racist.
I was gonna say it had to be very
Homophobic.
racially motivated.
not only racist, they would have called it. They would have just gone back and forth saying, "You're a faggot. You're a faggot." Well, you play ball like a faggot.
It would have just been the entire scene, but it would just
Well,
been
you
them,
kiss like
everybody on
one.
the other team going after Benny the Jet. What do you do?
All right, and
I want that. I want that deleted scene so bad, where they just
The
let
big
the kids. Hey guys, we're just gonna let you have fun with it. Just throw out some dirty words. Go.
Guys, this one's just going to be a wild take. Just get it all out there.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we get the big one.
You play ball like a girl!
Dude, Tommy's reaction. That
Yeah.
face.
I will say,
Fighting words.
if you look up him nowadays, life did not go good for Tommy. Oh my God.
He's on,
He's Yaya's girlfriend now. Yeah.
he's on Cameo. I was considering trying to get him for this, but like, what the fuck do I have
Ooh.
to say to Timmy?
Is he
How much
the
is he
only
on
one?
Cameo?
It's Timmy and Yaya wants like $90, and I'm not pissed.
Oh Jesus. He was on TMZ 10 times though. I just want you to keep that in mind.
That's right.
I always want to buy a cameo and have like somebody like and I'm like, I just want the cameo to be him going, I'm a piece of shit. I'm very insecure about my
Oh,
life.
that's great.
Like, I paid you your money, puppet. Now do the dance.
All right. So the game is basically them just ham fucking with them, saying like, "Is that your sister in the outfield? She's naked." Like,
Yeah. Also, Little League sucked, man. I had some faith in the Little League boys, and they did not come through.
no. But this is followed up. They celebrate with the carnival scene, and we get
What? Shaw! I was saving it for a good time. What is it? Big Chief.
the best.
She's small. I suppose
Right.
you don't even know who the babe is either.
Another reminder of the babe and all that. We don't know when it's coming. So yeah, they all get chewing tobacco. They don't know how to speak.
Puke.
Let me
Very
know
method acting to make them puke. Just make them keep riding it till they actually puke.
my neck hurts. 50 more minutes, Scotty.
Yeah.
His parents who just got the check, yeah.
Great theme, of course. Tequila.
Yeah.
Good acting.
Which I
Killer
will
acting.
say, I have mixed tequila and chewing tobacco before, and this is the exact result you get.
Oh god. So
Yeah, not good.
They puke everywhere. The plot is not moved forward, but nobody cares.
It's so important though. Still important.
All right. Benny smashes the seams off a baseball, and the kids take it as an omen. Now they have no ball to play with. Scotty's stepdad, Dennis Leary, is away on business, so he steals the Babe Ruth ball, signed ball to play with. Scotty is first at bat, hits a home run into the Beast's yard. He promptly panics, revealing it was signed by Babe Ruth, and the other kids freak the fuck out.
Here's the biggest thing. I don't. Yeah, there it is. It's right in front of me.
It's right in front of you there.
I don't want to like try to find plot holes in a movie that essentially doesn't have a plot. But couldn't he have just gone and gotten the baseball that him and Dennis Leary had a catch with in the backyard? I didn't think of that until today when I was rewatching it.
Very good.
He had to walk past that ball. it was next to the front door, probably.
He has bad associations with that from the fucking broken ocular bone.
Yeah. But I also want to see him doing that, like, oh man, we're playing bubble hockey and we lost a guy. It's like, my dad's got a hockey trophy. I can go snap the guy off of it, put him in there. Like, he walked right past that other ball and was like, I don't know who this is, and it clearly means something to my new dad, but let me just steal this. Yeah. Piece of shit, Scotty.
Agreed. Fuck Scotty. All right. So they tie up another plot hole of they can't just ask Mr. Myrtle for it because he's a crazy, mean old man and he'll feed you to the beast. They make some attempts to get the ball, one with a simple stick that gets chewed up, another one with vacuums which explode, another one with yeah in a harness, and we also get this fun one where we pay off the erector set deal from earlier on in the movie. Really kind of a neat apparatus they have set up here. It's
very incredible.
Hey, unbelievable.
Yeah. It's got the scoop, and the scoop in and of itself would be cool. It's the fact that the scoop drops down, opens, and then closes. Also, Squints has made a fucking telescope out of a Wheaties box.
You never did that? I actually did that when I was younger.
Did you really?
It sounds like witchcraft to me.
You toss a couple mirrors in there, you angle them properly, it doesn't work. It's real fun.
This movie's really just a promo for STEM majors in college, just trying to get kids. Hey, baseball's cool, but so is technology.
Actually,
imagine I think this is where Elon Musk came from.
That's him right there.
So he vanished in the 60s. No one know what happened from him. So
there it is.
Here's something confusing to me. So the Sandlot we know is adjacent to the junkyard where the Beast lives. But where is this treehouse? Because we're looking, they're waiting on the other side of this fence to get it. What fucking house is behind them? What is the layout of this area?
Yeah, that's very weird.
That's fair.
That house is in play.
Yeah. So
I think Peppercorn actually just was like cross-eyed and missing a bunch of teeth.
The real plot was they make Wendy Peppercorn the neighbor who owns a dog. That's the Beast.
I also love that you can't call her by her real name, Peppercorn, and you keep calling her Peppercorn.
What is it?
Respect it. Peppercorn.
Peppercorn?
Yeah.
That can't be right. I've called her Peppercorn my whole adult life.
You've been wrong for all 13
time.
Years of that.
Oh God.
Because I would have that on my belly like Thug Life right now, probably. And now I would just be a 35-year-old suburban dad with that tattoo.
So, guys, in your darkest moment, what deceased hero or legend would you want to visit you?
Oh, that's a tough. John, you got one off the top of your dome? What do you think?
I think Babe Ruth and bad lookalike. Just to be like, how did you get cast for this role?
He like asked you like for like $4. He's like, by the way, kid, can you spare a couple for me?
I'm trying to think. I don't know. I always think about that when they say like, your last meal, or you're in heaven. Who do you want to meet? Like, I don't know. I should say, I'm looking at a baseball card right now. Darren Dalton. If Darren Dalton could come back and talk to me in my bedroom, he'd probably have beers with him. He'd probably have like a bunch of girls surrounding him. He was like the it man 93, the year you were born, Matt, or 3 years before you. When this movie came out, also that's another thing to tack on top of this. The Phillies were in the World Series the year this came out. So that was a baseball year.
So if you weren't into baseball, you were into baseball this year.
Right. So if Darren Dalton came out of my closet, he could be like, let's go down to the casino and fight some people. I'm like, I'm in, dude.
Yeah, one of the sad things in the years before Darren Dalton died, he was one of those guys who really thought the world was going to end in 2012. Like the
God.
He would be thriving right now because he was talking about aliens
Oh yeah,
abducting him, and he's like, I can't say I was abducted, but I was out of body experience way before anyone. Now that like he would have been on Joe Rogan, like he would have probably been the co-host.
dude, Darren Dalton on Joe Rogan might be the greatest missed opportunity of all of humanity. I think.
He was talking to aliens. He said that when he was in the World Series with the Marlins, he's like, I was out of my body watching myself. He was on hallucinogenics like back in '97.
God. All right. So Benny decides he's going to make a play for the Beast. He puts on these special there he is, Dutch.
Rest in peace, Dutch.
He puts on special PF flyers, which are now a real shoe, but are clearly just black Chuck Taylors. The kids try to talk him out of it. He insists, jumps over, grabs the ball, and the Beast chases his ass for miles, including leaping through a movie screen showing the Wolfman.
That was awesome. I like that.
That's a great
quick
shot.
Little tidbit is great.
He runs through a fucking. It looks like 4th of July again, but the banner says Founders Day. Of course, there's two guys carrying a cake. The cake, everybody ends up eating it. They all end up back at the Sandlot where the Beast ends up stuck under a piece of fence. The boys take pity and help him out. Now the dog's pretty chill and regular sized. And they are going to take the Beast and bring him to Mr. Myrtle, who we see for the first time.
We brought your dog home.
Hercules? How'd he get out?
I'm telling you guys, should have just turned it loose.
Well, what happened was we hit a baseball into your yard.
I hate that James Earl Jones is looking around like this is his first day blind. Like, where's that noise coming from? Who said that?
You guys smell worried. What's going on?
Back.
So you're the ones that are making all that racket.
Yes, sir.
Get it? Oh. First time that anybody ever got the best of old Hercules.
Come on, give me the line.
Why didn't you just knock on the door? I'd have gotten it for you.
Squints, you piece of shit.
Do you think at any point they got super racist and they were like, Kenny, is that your uncle? Or if he opens the door and he's like, oh shit, Uncle Myrtle, you live here?
I see it.
Just an elaborate dap up scene
I could
for them.
smell my nephew anywhere.
Oh God. All right. Murder reveals he was a ball player in the old Negro League, lost his eyesight, getting hit by a baseball. Pretty extreme. He can't replace the Babe Ruth ball, but he gives him a murderer's row ball signed by all of the 1927 Yankees on the condition the boys come by and talk baseball with him from time to time. So
how much do you think this killed Dennis Leary? He's a diehard Red Sox fan, and he had to be a Yankees fan in this movie.
Ooh, I didn't even put that together.
Yeah, he's like, he's like up there as like throwing out the first pitch a zillion times. Like, probably has a Thug Life Red Sox tattoo.
He could have been a fan of Babe Ruth from the Boston Red Sox days.
True, Boston Braves. Was he a Boston Brave? I think he was a Boston Brave.
No idea. It was just Boston. You're right. I don't think it was Red Sox yet.
He was a pitcher too.
All right, so we get the epilogue. Yeah, got sent off to military school and later pioneered bungee jumping. Bertram became a hippie
and girlfriend choking.
Yep. Bertram became a hippie and no one ever saw him again because he died in Vietnam. Timmy and Tommy became architects and invented mini malls. Squints and Wendy became a Me Too that worked out. They hooked up, had 9 kids, bought the drugstore. Ham became a pro wrestler, the great Hambino. Kenny made it to the minors, but no further. Now coaches Little League. Hercules lived to be 199 years old in doggy years. That's around 28 years. Benny went pro. Scotty became announcer with the film ending on him announcing as Benny with the Dodgers as he's stealing home. He's wearing that ridiculous long-brimmed hat again that doesn't look as bad now that he is older. The end.
I want to see the Great Hambino Dark Side of the Ring Vice episode. I don't know if you guys are big wrestling fans. But they do Dark Side of the Ring of like Macho Man, like here's where he got into coke and pills.
I was gonna say they just do it like what's that movie, The Warrior? About
yes,
like
I want a great
that's
maybe
just
is
about
that
Ham.
Is that's the story? You didn't know that it was actually the Great
They get a
Gambino.
little spin-off action.
I want the Great Gambino wrestling behind the ring story so bad.
I did acid for the first time after I was traumatized by a giant dog tearing down my tree fort.
I asked them how long we're gonna have to wrestle this match in Chattanooga. They said forever. Forever is his rest in peace, like the Undertaker.
All right, so we got a few years ago, they did some reunion stuff, which is in here somewhere, and of course there's a commercial.
There it is.
But weirdly enough, the main thing for this video, like the end screen, is a mugshot of Scotty. Hold on, I think I actually fucked this up. I know they had.
Really?
Yeah, they did.
20th did some shit.
Anniversary Sandlot.
So fun. They did. I know the Brewers did a pretty sweet thing where they like remade it.
There he is.
Preseason promo.
Oh yeah, and I think they had a bunch of them show up for that. All right, here we got some of the kids.
Yeah, and Yelich played Benny the Jet. You're like, man, great casting.
Oh god, hold on. We need that fucking lineup again. Look at this sad group of guys.
Oh, good lord. Looks like an open mic.
Man, the Great Gambino looks like if Billy Joe from the Green Day got fat and was a ginger.
Oh wow. Yeah,
the dark eyes and everything.
Now he is Billy Joe if they never made American Idiot, and this is him singing fucking Time of Your Life at like the VFW he rented out for the big reunion show.
Black don't crack because Kenny still looks 23 in this.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Looks very good with a mustache, and you can't say that about just anybody.
Yeah.
Oh
wait, so who's the guy that looks like Simon Pegg but bald?
Wait, which one?
Next to Tommy. So one looks like Louis. Like if you had to give like a character sketch of Louis C.K. So it's Bertram.
Bertram, yeah.
Oh man, time did not. He looks like he owns a vape shop.
Yeah, dude, Timmy looks the fucking way. Oh yeah, no. Bertram definitely has tattoos on his knuckles. No two ways about it.
And the back of his head. He was actually in Sons of Anarchy, I think.
Wouldn't surprise me. I could see him pulling that off. Oh yeah, you know what the fucked up thing is? Apparently, Benny the Jet does not do any of these like nostalgia things. He's like a firefighter or something.
Really
good for him, man. And he played in Major League Baseball.
He did play Major League Baseball. That's a very good point. There he is, folks. The young man. Yeah. Looking up strong.
The man, the myth, the legend, the motorboat.
So this guy comes up to me, used to motorboat my girl's tit. Like this is we're on Good Name.
He's still talking about it on.
Yeah, he's just. That's the guy who asked him.
Yeah, so one of these fucking Asians come up and like, hey, may I motorboat a titties long time? I'm like, yo, what the fuck, bro?
What are you doing? Just give me one time to move along.
Hey, Katie Couric, you looking at my wife's rack? Jesus Christ!
All right, well, guys, that's the episode. That was a lot of fun.
That was a real fun time.
Great time.
Yeah, I learned a lot about myself, about Sandlot, about
peppercorn.
Peppercorn.
Yeah,
that's it. Well.
I personally think the biggest revelation of this is that now that we realize that the kids imagined the beast larger, we're seeing this from the kids' point of view. This really kind of shatters the idea that Wendy might not have been that hot.
Yeah, she might have been
Don't you dare do that. That dog was a dinosaur size, and you're not going to ruin my life for me, okay?
I mean, the reality in the movie, she's probably just like the 18-year-old who finished high school and just didn't go to college, and now she's just staying at her lifeguard job. Smokes way too many cigarettes and just makes out with 13-year-olds. Yeah,
she runs the snack stand now.
Like I remember though seeing an old picture of like some friends from middle school, and the one girl who we were like, she was the hottest fucking girl ever. Like she was the first girl to get past B cups. That's all it takes.
Yeah,
yeah. The hottest one when you're a tween is not too fun when you go to the reunion. It's
Like, sorry, she's like Italian, but she's like one of those like dark Italians where they're like 12 years old and they have giant bags under their eyes already from their fucking mother hitting them with a broom handle or whatever for not stirring the sauce.
Italian women do age like a tomato. You're right.
It's brutal, yeah.
They're the worst. I went to an Italian wedding the other day, and I'll leave it at that. I don't need to get in this bullshit. I had a lovely time. That's what happened.
I thought you were about to
I'm
get
not
into a soup
talking
bit.
about the soup. Yeah.
I was gonna say there's a soup bit coming.
All right, John Montague, Matt Peoples, guys, thank you so much for doing this. Remind us again where we can find you. Anything you have to promote? If you have any shows coming up.
Yeah, Montague Comedy, Hacks Golf, both on Instagram. Shows just July 8th, Philly's Funniest, and Matt and I are hitting the road and going to Asbury in August, end of August sometime. So look for info on that.
Yeah, let me know who's booking that. I would love to get up to fucking ad. I only went for the first time even to visit like a week ago.
Yeah, no, I'll send it to you. I think
Cool.
Sean McDonough is his name. Check him out. Good comic.
I know the name. All right, Peoples, what you got going on?
You can follow me at Matt Peoples Comedy on Instagram, at Peoples Comedy on TikTok. I have a show at the Philadelphia Beer Boutique in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania on Tuesday. So what's this? June 29th, June 30th. I will be at Punchline Philadelphia with the Lovable Monsters and a little time there. And then July 7th, Eddie Gallagher Cricket Comedy. I'll be doing a show in Springfield, PA. Out of place. So that's what we got.
Look it up. All right, guys, thank you so much for doing this. Check out Handsome Idiots podcast. Thanks, dudes. This was awesome.
Good stuff.
Thank you.
A lot of fun.
Great
Thanks,
time,
man. Yeah, seriously.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right, man. I will see you guys around. Thank you for doing this.
Well, beautiful.
All right.
Why did
later,
I
guys.
salute?
Salute. It felt good in the moment.
Why did I do it? I hate myself now.